Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing? I had a viewer ask about making the AMG build, so I figured I'd come up here, run some Togi and see how it is. And this car doesn't seem too bad. I spent probably about a half hour, 45 minutes tuning it earlier. I am a little disappointed in the horsepower. Unfortunately, it's only, I think maxed out, it only got up to like 600 horse. The handling's not bad though. I did run it up and down the highway to test the, the suspension bottom out and everything at like high end. It's not a bad car. It's got a little different sound to it. I wasn't expecting this. It's got kind of like an odd sound. It's different. It sounds almost like a grumbly, like. It sounds like a boxer. Like, listen to this at low RPM. It sounds like those, the old Porsches. It's weird. But yeah, the car doesn't seem too bad through curves. It seems very good. And I know when I play against it in the campaign, this thing just pulls on me through every single corner. I didn't go with the, top of the line engine parts, just because of the simple fact I'd have to spend speed coins and I just don't have them right now. I think I spent right around about $1 million to build this car as it is, with the price of the car. And I did go with the hardtop instead of the convertible, because the hardtop had a quicker acceleration time. I don't know if, fully built, whether the convertible would actually be faster, like if it's lighter. I'm not sure. I didn't do any weight reduction on the car because, once again, I just couldn't afford it right now. But this is actually a fun car to kind of like run some Toga in. Is rear wheel drive only. Not bad though. I like the way this car handles. I wish the engine sounded a little bit better. Oh. I may do an engine swap on this car in the future because I really do like the car. And I would like to see it be a lot faster. Alright, let's get out here on the highway and I'm going to show you guys top speed it'll run. I do like how it'll kind of get a little bit sideways, but it doesn't spin out. Even if you turn the traction control off. I have it on right now, just because I wanted to run it through the toge section and see how it feels. I did tune it without the traction control, so that way I could kind of get a feel for the car. I like to tune without traction control on, so that way, I can get the full feel of the suspension. But I went up and down this highway a few times to test the stiffness. And one thing that I do when I test the stiffness is I go inside of the car and I listen for the car bottoming out. You can hear kind of like a thud, 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 thud. If you're hearing that, then you need to stiffen those springs or raise the springs and stiffen them. And going the other way, I did get up onto about 330, I think it was. I didn't widen the tires all the way because once again I was trying to save a little bit money. So if you want to have a little bit better handling out of the car, you could definitely go and widen the tires up in the rim section and tuning. I'm going to get out on this last straight and hit the spray, show you guys the top speed, and then I'll go into the tuning shop. Without street coins, it's fully capable of hitting 300. 330 downhill. I was really hoping for a little bit more horsepower out of the base parts. Let's go ahead and get into the tuning. Oh, first I'm gonna go to the body shop and show you guys the wide body I put on it. I really like the wide body kit that they have for it. I just go to the house so that way I can fast travel for free. That's the stock body. If you do want to have better handling within the game, you do need to go with the wide body so that way you have a wider stance to just spread everything out. But that's the kit I ended up going with. I like the little like fender vents, and then you know like the wheel well vents that it has on it. I like the hood that came with it, the spoiler, everything about this kit. I didn't change anything on it. I even kept the rims. I like the rims that were on it. They were gray, and all I did was just paint them black. That's all I did. But let's go ahead and get into the tuning. Right, and as I was saying, the engine, everything is just racing. I didn't have any, street coins to go and dump into this car, so you could have a much higher horsepower. You could probably easily, like there, just the turbo upgrade alone would get you into 700 horse range. So with everything else, you could probably get up into the 800 horse range with this car. Everything for the transmission is ultimate. If you want a little bit more grip and you're having trouble with corners, I didn't really have any trouble with cornering, being only a rear wheel drive. The car seems very grippy as it is, so I didn't need the all-wheel drive. I wouldn't feel that racing I would need it either. And then for the body, I did not do any weight reduction, so yet that's another place where you could gain a lot of power out of this car. Suspension, I went with the Elite arms because of the fact that, yet again, street coins. Ultimate stabilizers, ultimate brakes, ultimate stabilizer for the rear. The rear arms, I only went with the street because this only gives you a camber adjustment. And there's no need to have to, unless you're building a drift car and you want a massive crazy camber on the rear, there's no reason to have to go with this. The camber is like perfect as it is, and it gives you just enough adjustment to be able to make a race build. So if you want to save, about 10 grand, you could just go with the street arms on that one. Elite front springs, yes, yet again, street coins. I didn't even put dampeners on it, and without the dampers, it feels pretty good. Elite rear springs, yet again, street coins. Wheels and tires, I kept everything stock on this end. For a race build, I liked the stance. You could put some spacers on it, widen it up, but I just didn't bother. I like the look of it. It's got a little bit of camber, so, like the bottom of the tires just poke out from the fenders. The fronts are just inside. The rear, like, just on the outside of the wheel wells. I really like the look of it. I didn't feel a need to have to put any bigger tires or spacers on it. But if you guys are having trouble with grip, come up here to 345/25s, do the same for the rear, and then come over here and drop down a size. And then that'll give you a much wider stance, and your grip over here will go from 1.06 to 1.08. I run that on every single car. Now for the engine tunings, everything is just maxed. And now for the transmission tunings, everything felt good to me, except for 7th gear. I brought that down a notch. Body, there's no tuning there because we didn't do any weight reduction. I would definitely recommend doing some weight reduction if you got the money. Spring stiffness, I brought this up a notch. Stabilizer up a notch. Camber, I dropped 1 notch for the front. Ackerman, I brought up 2 notches. Steering angle, I bring to the max so that way you can turn a lot further in those togy areas. Wheel toe, usually in any other game, you would go like, like negative a notch. So that way your wheel toe negative would be spread out at the front of the tires. But in this game, for some reason, positive toe feels to get better grip and more responsiveness. I don't know what it is in this game. It seems a little weird, but that's what I've been running on every grip build so far. Braking force to the max. I like my brake balance at default. I did try running a further brake balance. I tried both settings more towards the front. I tried one notch towards the rear on other vehicles, and 55 seems to be the fastest stopping distance. Spring length for the rear, yet again, I raised this up one notch and brought the stiffness up a notch, same with the stabilizer. And then the rear camber I left default, same with the toe. But the reason I raised this up a notch, you could see how low those side skirts are to the ground. When I was going down the highway, the car's perfectly fine, just like driving through the city. But when you're doing like 250 plus going down the highway, you can hear the car repeatedly bottoming out, and the car literally wouldn't go much over 280. So you're actually having the car bottom out at top speed from the dips and divots on the highway. So I actually had to raise it up a hair. But that's the grip build for the AMG. I hope you guys decide to come back. If you did find this video informative and it helped you out, hit that subscribe button. Also, let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video. You guys have a good one.